Okay. Being recorded. When I moved to Pullman, I had been in my house for about 15 years and raised a kid there. So yeah, there was a fair amount of stuff. And I spent 6 months getting rid of stuff. And I moved here with a 8x12 trailer. It's a good feeling.
I consider that quite the accomplishment compared to what,
It
what
was-
we're putting ourselves through.
Well, and my son took anything he wanted, you know, so he had to get a storage unit, but. So,
Hello.
howdy.
Oh, darn good.
Thanks, sir.
Today.
Oh, we'll see.
Do we have anything more? You know, we have some more. ones today.
Tom Andy is out and Jeff Flanagan said he would be virtual.
Okay,
And that's about all the ones there. Oh, and Paul was uncertain.
yeah. I don't think Paul's making it, but
He kind of sounded like he didn't think he was gonna make it. Yeah, there's a for a recharge
Yeah,
from
she did it.
a canal. Oh, so you were in on it? Anyway, he wanted to see what was up with that.
It's interesting.
So is it treated water or is it untreated water?
Test my memory here. Not sure, because they.
Okay.
Canal is for agriculture.
Okay,
Where was this?
Moses Lake, it's the,
Oh, well. The meeting was in Moses Lake.
yeah,
The program was in Othello.
Yep.
Or-
Sean.
Did they talk at all about adding to or completing the Columbia Basin project, that meeting?
No.
Because that's been a topic off and on in that area for some while.
Yeah, it was more targeted towards smaller municipal communities and less on that larger scale.
So this was for domestic water. Ultimate use domestic water?
And I think it depends
Okay.
based on the community, but that was one of the topics of interest because there's additional permitting if you're going to use water that has potentially been treated for.
Yeah, especially here in the state
So
of Washington.
actually, yeah, it was treated water. That's something that is in water, really treated for drinking water, and I don't. The acronym because it's one of those long compound names, but. Yeah, there were implications to rejecting treated water for storage.
Is this Brad and Don Phelps or is it Brad or Don Phelps?
It is actually just Brad Phelps with Jacobs Engineering.
Just Brad.
Okay. So the city of Pullman has perfect attendance.
All online, yeah?
Um, I'm not sure if there's a quorum yet. But it's 2:01, so.
All right, well, we will get rolling. You say we don't have a forum, or you're not sure if we have a forum?
Well, I'm counting three voting entities present
Mm-hmm,
out of 6, which is not a majority.
okay. All right, well, let's, we can get going on introductions and then see
Ah,
how we get some
Now we
folks
have a
trickling
quorum.
in. We are quorumed. All right, welcome everybody to our November PBAC meeting. Appreciate everybody coming. We did not have an October meeting, so the minutes that we've got are the September meeting minutes. We're gonna do introductions and then we'll dive into those. I'm Tyler Palmer. I'm the current chair of the Police Basin Aquifer Committee and Moscow's representative on the committee. And I'm gonna go to my left.
Eileen McCall, former PBAC member and concerned water citizen.
Rusty Vineyard Director of Facilities, University of Idaho.
I'm Ashton Church. I'm a University of Idaho student, but I'm an intern for PBAC this year.
Great.
I'm Mike Pompel with PBAC.
David Hall, Ladell County resident, private citizen.
Robin Demert, Alta Pines Engineering. Nikki Waters, Design Engineering.
Great, let's jump online and start with Counselor Weller.
I'm Nathan Weller, Pullman City Council member.
All right, Brad Phelps.
Yes, I'm Brad Phelps with Jacobs Engineering.
Okay, let's see, Sean Wells.
Sean Wells, City of Pullman Public Works Director.
Jeff Lenigan.
Hi, Jeff Lanigan, WC Facilities and PBAC Vice Chair.
Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle Richmond with Idaho Department of Water Resources in Coeur d'Alene.
Great, thank you. Chris Beard.
Chris Beard, Washington State Department of Ecology Water Resources Program.
Great, thank you, Chris. Kara.
Yeah, Kara Haley, City of Pullman.
All right, Colton.
Colt Shelton with JUB Engineers.
Nicole.
Hi, Nicole Fletcher with Jacobs Engineering and City of Pullman resident. Happy to be here.
Great, thanks, Nicole. Pamela.
Pamela, community member, Palouse Region.
Great, welcome, Pamela. Did I miss anybody online?
I don't think.
Steve Robichon.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Oh, Steve.
All right, Steve, we got Chipmunk Steve.
It's doing it to you.
Yeah. Steve is with the Police Basin Aquifer Committee. He's our technical advisor. All right, I think that covers everybody. So welcome. Appreciate everybody coming. Next item on the agenda we have is the approval of our September 19th, 2024 meeting minutes. So if anyone has any comments, I'd be happy to field those. Otherwise, appreciate a motion to approve.
We don't have a quorum. We can't make motions.
Oh.
We have a quorum.
We do have a quorum.
Oh, we do now. I missed that.
Yeah.
So moved.
All right, I've got a motion by Rusty.
Second.
I've got a second by Counselor Weller. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, our meeting minutes stand approved. Thank you, everybody. Next item on the agenda is public comment for items that are not on the agenda. Open up the floor for anyone who has anything to share with the group about anything that isn't on the current agenda. Okay, hearing none. Our next item that we have populated is our subcommittee reports today. And I'm going to start that off with a report on our Clearwater River RFQ. I sent out invitations to the review committee and I've got confirmation from everybody now for participating. So thank you for that. We will be receiving, proposals. It's due December 20th. My plan is to, get those put together, get packets together and get those out before the holiday to all the folks who are reviewing. And any other committee member who's interested, certainly happy to share that along as well. And then we have a date set for a preliminary review, which is January 9th. And that is when we'll plan to get together. So give everybody the holiday and get past the first of the year and then conduct a review on January 9th. And have that discussion and see if we can't make some determinations about next steps, whether that be an apparent selection that everybody kind of agrees on, or if we want to have some presentations conducted by the folks who are submitting their statements of qualifications.
Sorry to interrupt. Are
Okay.
you ready for me to send that meeting out then?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, let's send out the 9th. Anybody have any questions about the RFQ? We have several plan holders, so that's good. I think that there's going to be interest. I think we'll get some really good qualified proposals. Any questions? Great. This is exciting. I'm really happy about moving this forward. This will be good to keep this rolling. So yeah, so the things to look out for is in the short term, Mike will send out the meeting invitation for January, and then next month we'll get proposals out to everybody. Rusty, budget?
Yeah, you bet. Right now, budget tracking wise, it's been an active month, from a budget standpoint. We have received all payments. Did we get the final? Okay.
Yep.
All payments have been received, which is awesome. I don't know if it's ever been, they've all been received this early before, so that's pretty awesome. We do have our AmeriCorps lease payment that's finalized, and that brings us through August of 2025.
Yes.
Correct?
Yep.
Okay. We purchased water conservation supplies, and we've also, the current budget reflects the, Dr. Langman's, first initial payment of 90 grand.
Great.
And so otherwise, we're tracking as scheduled. So budget looks good.
Perfect.
Anybody?
Anybody?
It's been set.
Yeah, that's contributions.
Timeliness of payments.
Yeah, that was awesome. Really appreciate everybody's work getting those processed. Thank you to everybody. Does anyone have any questions for Rusty or any general budgetary questions? Just as a reminder, as we go through the RFQ process, we'll go through once we've made a selection, we'll go through a scoping process, and then as we determine what that cost will be, we'll have conversations about the funding for that. We anticipate the contract from the Idaho Division of Water Resources any day now. They've already sent a draft that they had us approve and that their subcommittee had approved. And so they were just getting the final contract to us. And so we're just waiting to get that final contract from them, and then they'll be ready for the city of Moscow to start submitting requests for reimbursement to the Water Resource Board.
Tyler, I got a quick question. Would the board like to see this budget sent out to them prior to the future board meeting, so they can, if they want to generate any questions, that'd be great.
Yeah, I think that'd be helpful. It'd be nice to have that distributed.
So the monthly statement?
Yep,
Yeah.
the report we have loaded generate, Mike.
Yep.
If the most recent one we generated, if you want to go ahead and send that out to
Yeah,
the
I'll do
board, that'd be
that.
great.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
yeah.
Thanks, Rusty.
It's pretty straightforward, and if there are any questions from the board, then feel free to also reach out to me directly via email. I can answer any questions you might have.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Really appreciate all the help. That's become a very smooth process, and we really appreciate that, Rusty. I know that didn't just happen, so
No,
thank you.
perfect.
Okay, any questions for Rusty? All right, hearing none, we will move on to our communication subcommittee meeting. We had a meeting this week for communications. We had our stakeholder engagement group met on September 26th, so that's been since our last meeting in September. I thought that was a really successful meeting. It was very well attended. We had some really good conversations, a lot of folks that represented a pretty diverse array of stakeholders. And we were able to introduce them to the need for PBAC and the work that we're doing, and then also talk about where we're at. both with water conservation and in the pursuit of an alternate supply. That group was engaged, seemed to be willing to continue to be engaged. And what we committed to them was that as we got through the RFQ process and had a selection made, that we would re-engage with that group, introduce them to the consultant that had been selected, and talk about next steps with that work. And so that's going to be our next point of contact. So I would anticipate that meeting coming sometime probably in the early spring is when we'll reconvene that group. In addition, we plan to hold another research colloquium at a similar point. What we don't want to do is engage with our academic community when we don't have a lot of substance, and we thought it would be better when we do have a consultant lined up so that they can also participate with that research colloquium, and we can engage with our academic community and gather their thoughts as well. So both of those meetings early spring. Mike, you want to talk about the new graphic that we had generated?
Yeah, let me show this. So this is a draft. This is not final. And I'm not gonna send it out until it is final, just because it's not, it's not ready.
You gotta hit share there at the bottom.
Hit share. I don't want this one. There it is. You can see it. I don't know what it is.
I always commend
Let the young person help.
always commend your effort, Mike.
Yeah.
You never stop trying.
I'm willing to.
Bam.
punch buttons.
Yeah.
Okay, so
There we go.
was there a question?
No,
We could see the reminders better than we could see the graphic, but it just changed, so we're good.
Well,
no, he's got it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
you can see most of the graphic. So this is intended to visualize what we're thinking about right now. The important part that is not in there is the part about potential aquifer recharge from the treated water instead of direct use. And that'll be finalized in the next few days.
We filled a couple questions and some presentations specific to the graphic that was utilized for what had been called alternative one, which was shown in the Union Flats drainage was the previous alignment. I mean, the alternative talked about pulling water up maybe from the snake. There was work done on the clear water, but our graphic showed certainly the snake on the Washington side. And so we wanted to make sure that it was clear that we want to make sure that our graphics were congruent with our messaging and that this showed the diversion on the snake side. We certainly don't want to ever be accused of a bait and switch. And so we want to make sure that whatever we're showing graphically also matches up with what we're talking about. And so the one edit that as Mike mentioned, that we sent back to have looked at again is that this specifically calls out direct use, which could end up being the case, but we also don't want to eliminate the possibility of aquifer recharge if that ends up being the more logical way for us to utilize water that we potentially bring up. So, yeah, I think it'll be good. It'll be good to have our graphics updated. It's been good to have professional looking graphics. That's helped, I think, lend credibility to the processes. So any questions or comments about the graphic or anything communication wise, whether it be the SEG or the colloquium? I want to mention that just, our outreach efforts continue, and we continue to try and identify any groups that we can be getting out and talking with. And so please, if anybody has groups that we need to be getting out to, I know that we've got a presentation lined up for early next month with the Pullman City Council. We gave a presentation to the Moscow Sustainable Environment Commission this week. If there's any groups on campus at either of the universities or other community groups, I know we get out a lot. Mike's been busy giving presentations, but we really want to make sure that we're getting out there. Everybody in this room is well aware that a lack of transparency and communication has been a real challenge with previous attempts at solving this problem, and so we want to do all we can to avoid being yet another chapter in that unfortunate narrative.
Yeah, in addition, I was at the Palouse City Council last week.
That's right.
And the Idaho Rural Water Users Association yesterday.
Yeah.
So And that was there were a lot of locals, but there were a lot of North Idaho people as well, so.
Excellent. Great. Mike, do you have anything else for communications that we think we ought to talk about?
No, that's it for now.
Okay, technical committee, do you guys have any update, Jeff?
Not really. We didn't meet today because we didn't have anything on the agenda. Kind of been in between efforts right now, I guess, until Dr. Langman starts coming back in. I don't know, Mike, has anyone heard anything from Woods Hole? I think they were due to get us a report before too long.
I have not heard from them. Dr. Bush mentioned them, but I think it was more like he knew there was a delay.
Okay.
So and there was actually a question about that yesterday at the rural water meeting. So people have not forgotten.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I think it'll be interesting when we see that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so I guess my report is that I don't have one.
Okay. We like those kind of reports sometimes, Jeff.
Yeah.
Great. Other reports and announcements, Mike, AmeriCorps?
So we'll launch the AmeriCorps program again in January, and we'll run it through August like we did this year. It was just a lot of good reasons that was a good program. I hope we can be at least as successful again. It's actually posted on 2 websites, but it's not posted on the PCEI website yet, which I consider to be like the real posting. So just their web person's been out, and it'll like any day now, we'll have that and we'll get ready to distribute that.
Great. I've got just we're continuing our work on our water conservation plan update. So we've got a final draft proposal that we hope to finalize here in the next couple of weeks. That's something that we've really appreciated. Collaboration with the city of Pullman. Sean and his folks have been great to work with as we've worked through that process. And so we will be getting that final draft over to our legal department for review, and then sometime shortly after the first of the year, take it through our city council. It includes some provisions for our plumbing code, which allows the adoption of some more stringent plumbing code requirements for us for new buildings. And so at this point, it includes that. We don't anticipate that being much of a challenge just because a lot of our building community is already using the more efficient fixtures. It also includes a lot more incentives. And so we'll be removing some of the restrictions on incentives for our lawn to Y-scape rebates, and just broadening some of our rebate categories a little bit. So yeah, we're excited to get through that process. It's been about a year in the making, and a lot of research and collaboration with other departments to see what we could do and what was feasible and what we could afford, and working through that. So we'll should have a draft that we'll be able to present to the committee a little bit after the first of the year, just to keep everyone up to speed on what we're doing.
I think Dave has a question.
Dave?
Can I get a copy to look at, review ahead of time on that?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I'm sure that the Sustainable Environment Commission will also get looped in as we get the final draft ready we'll disseminate that through a lot of different places. So yeah, as soon as we have that draft ready, we'll get it circulated. Anybody else have any other reports or announcements for the group? All right, this is going to be an efficient meeting. Our next meeting is scheduled for December 19th. The December meeting is one that we have not always held. So keep an eye out to communications on that. If we end up with some agenda items that are pressing, then we'll go ahead and see who's around. But if not, we're likely to cancel the December meeting. So we're going to keep that on the agenda for right now, but we'll see how work shakes out. I can get pretty quiet that time of year. So don't show up unless you've confirmed that you need to, would be my message for now.
Okay.
All right. Anything else before we adjourn? All right. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We got a motion. All right.
I can second that.
Second from Sean. Let's get out of here. That might be a record, you guys. 21 minutes. I'm proud of us.
Boy, darn close.
That's a long way to drive for 21 minutes, Jake. We appreciate it.
Good work, team.
See
Thanks,
you all.
everyone.
Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Yeah.